Hello, I am Matt Taylor and this is my variety channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder dungeon tiles that you can reuse over and over again. They're going to be modular, so you can, once you make enough of them, you can create a lot of different dungeons, and they're really inexpensive to make. There are some dungeon tiles that you can buy that are really nice, or the artwork is really great, but they're kind of expensive. So if you are a DM with a small budget like me, just create your own, and then you can reuse them over and over again in the future. And then later on, if you get more money for a budget, you can make some more elaborate ones. There's some really cool videos out there on YouTube with some really elaborate 3D style dungeon tiles and environments that you can make. They're just a little more costly and take more time. So this is a really simple, easy way to enhance your gaming experience for the players in your game. And we'll be using our little paper minis that I made as the characters that will play on this. So we're going to use a box that I have laying around. Normally I would just throw this box away. We're going to be using that, a little scrap of cardboard that I have laying around, and a piece of wrapping paper that has grid lines already on it. So really cool. So I'm taking some trash that I have laying around and creating some D&D treasure. Oh yeah. So let me bring the camera in for a closer look so we can get started. So whenever I am creating like a dungeon, I always start with a piece of graph paper first. You can buy graph paper, or I just printed this off online. Either way, whatever you want to do. And what I want to do is I want to lay it out first. And also, this gives me a guide that I can have in my notes while our big version is being set up on the table. So let's say I'm going to build a dungeon, and each little square on here is going to represent 5 feet. So let's just have like a dungeon that's going to be just a small little dungeon here. Let's say it's like 10 feet wide, and then the characters go 20 feet, and then maybe it comes to like a T, something like that, and maybe we have a door here. Could be like a double door or something like that, 10 feet wide, however big you want to make it, and then maybe it opens up to a room like this, and maybe this is like a storage room. There's some barrels in there, maybe some hay piles or something, maybe a shelf, something like that, whatever you want to do. And then I would number this personally, like up here, number 1, room number 1, just so in my notes I can write down what that room number is. And then maybe over here and over here we have doors, and that opens up into a room, and that opens up into a room, number 2, number 3. Something like that. Now you can get as creative however you want to design it, however creative you want, however you're going to explain how the room looks. You can draw as many of those as possible. Maybe in this dungeon we have some sconces on the wall with torches, so it's well lit. And then maybe in this room is like a desk for the bad guy. And maybe he has like a bookcase or something over there. Something like that, whatever you want to do. All right, so this is my little dungeon. And what I would name it, so I can keep track of everything. Now I want to create a bigger version of this for our players, but I already have the scale down, so it's really nice. So I set this aside, and then I get my piece of wrapping paper. This was my last piece on the roll. I really can't wrap any big boxes with it, but I can use it for some dungeon tiles, which is really neat. All right, and so what I do is I just follow my guides on here. And these markers, these crazy art markers, all these markers, it costs like $3 or something at Walmart, so it's really cheap. And then I'll just start. This will be the entrance. Let's say some kind of a cave or whatever. And then we just count. it goes up 4, like that. And then right here, it goes this way, 3 spaces, this way 3, ends in a door, it goes this way 2, this way 2, ends in a door there. And then for the doors, what I normally do, this is just my preference, is I'll come in here with brown, and I'll, on both sides, I'll do a nice thick part of brown. So then when I cut this, I will have a door on both sides. Okay, and just that signifies that. And then over here I'll do the same thing. Let's finish off these rooms, goes up like this, 2 and over 4. So you get the idea. Finish those off, all the rooms. Maybe he has some kind of elaborate rug in the middle. And underneath that rug, he has like a trap door with a chest or something like that. Whatever the case, awesome. So now we have the basics drawn out, and then you can go back in and do some finer details. We want to draw these sconces. All right, so you get the idea, and you can make it as detailed as you want. I am not super artistic, so I usually just leave it like that, and then I'll explain things, describe how the room is, and they can leave that up to their imagination. That is great. Now, a couple of different ways that you can do this. What I like to do is I like to cut these out. You could just take this whole thing, just make a square, and then cut it out and use it like that, and then maybe just cover these up with like sticky notes. But then, if you do that, the characters know that there's something there. So I like to make it modular. So as the story progresses, as they go to room, that's when you add the next piece on. And so let's do that. Let's do it that way. I'm going to cut these out. Now with this one, I have my door here. I want to cut in the middle of that door. Let's make this door a little wider. And then I'm going to cut down the middle of this. And there we go. We have a nice little piece, a nice little room ready to be used. And then I wouldn't throw away your extra scraps of paper, because you can use that for other rooms in the future, right? So just save these bigger scraps. Save those for other rooms. I'm going to set that aside for now. And now we have our little guide here, and you can just leave these like this if you want. I don't like to, because they kind of curl up on you, and they're really thin. And so what we can do is really cool, is we can glue this to cardboard. Got a piece of cardboard here. This is just a scrap piece of cardboard that normally you might throw away. And then we can arrange these pieces and glue them down with a glue stick or spray adhesive. So I'll go ahead and finish with those. Now that I have everything glued down, all we need to do is cut them out. And you can use an X-Acto knife or kitchen shears or scissors. Awesome. And then what you'll do, if you want, is come back in with your pen and just fill in the hole, or fill in any extra sides. All right, and now you have these awesome tiles, dungeon tiles, that you can use, and you can reuse these over and over again. But for this particular game or whatever, dungeon, all right, you lay it down, and then you put the players go on there. They establish their order, and you can just describe what's happening in this particular little tile. you open up into a cavern room. The sides are made of a nice carved stone, almost dwarvish in make. On the walls are sconces, ornate sconces with fire, torchlight burning, creating a nice, evenly lit cavern. As you walk forward, you come to a T intersection. There's a door in front of you, a door to your right, a door to your left. What do? The ranger girl, I'm gonna listen to this door. Roll a perception check. Natural 20, yay! You hear nothing. But I rolled a natural 20. You hear nothing. We open the door, you go in. This room enters into what appears to be a storage room. Off to your left, there are barrels and such. In front of you, there's shelving. To your right, there's different hay bales and piles of hay. We walk in. Okay, what do? We search around. You find nothing except for more hay. Okay, whatever, whatever you want to describe. And then they leave, and then you can add tiles as they get into new rooms, and then they can fight monsters. But you reveal it after they go inside. You go in there, and the evil guy that runs this little cave is right there. Then you battle. And it gives you spatial awareness, which is really nice. And just kind of adds to the experience. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention that you could do with these tiles to make them last a little bit longer. You know how gamers sometimes, obviously you're going to have snacks when you're playing and people spill. It's just human nature to spill things. What you could do is you could cover these with packing tape, clear packing tape. Cover them, and it will make them last a little bit longer. So there you go, some awesome reusable, modular, super cheap dungeon tiles. And there we have it. The tiles are done. And again, I'm not the best artist, so you can make them as artistically cool as possible if you want. You could also just print off some cool textures and things and glue those down instead. Maybe do the outlines just on your wrapping paper grid lines, and then put down cool different tiles or different types of textures that you print off from the computer. Whatever you want to do, totally up to you. But there you go, taking some normal everyday trash items I had hanging around my house, and I created some really cool dungeon tiles that I can reuse over and over again. I'm Matt Taylor, and this is my variety channel. Thanks for joining me. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you'll know anytime a new video comes out. Until next time, happy gaming, everyone.